WYZ Radio, coming to you live with a chilling report that might just keep you up at night. Just this evening, local authorities issued a warning about an escaped convict known as the Hookman. Reports indicate that he's armed and dangerous. And last seen near the old Lover's Lane, on the outskirts of town.
Holy cow. That intro, if you guys didn't notice, we did our intro a little bit different today. It's a little bit spookier. So today we're going to be talking about the Hookman. And so the intro is kind of, it's going to be if you were one of these just teens up there making out in the woods in your car or getting naked. That's what you would have heard coming over the radio.
We're doing some necking, too. You ever hear necking?
Necking? Yeah. Naked necking. Necking. Some naked.
Some naked
necking. But yeah, that's what you would have heard come over the radio, which, I don't know. I feel like as a teenage kid, I would just laugh when I heard that come over.
Yeah.
Until my throat got slashed. I don't know what he does.
By a hook.
By a hook. Right? That's what we're talking about.
If you didn't pay.
So we're talking about hookers, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So today we're talking about the Hookman, the terror at Lover's Lane. So presumably, I mean, I know a little bit about this, but I would say this guy just sneaks up on cars and just has his way with them as far as blood and guts and whatever he wants to do. Am I right?
Yeah, and we're going to go into some variations of the Hookman legend because it's the basic, it's always the basic story about the teenagers being out in the Lover's Lane, doing some parking, doing some necking, and then there's
necking or naked?
Naked necking.
Naked necking.
And then there's many variations that can then happen from that point that we will kind of go over. And then there were some other ones I threw in that I thought were just, some of them hilarious, that are just not related to that scenario, but there's just other scenarios involving the Hookman. And then at the end, we'll go over some true crime cases.
True crime.
The Texarkana Moonlight Murders.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think relate perfectly with the Hookman urban legend.
Yeah, and Texarkana, you didn't know. It's on the Texas-Arkansas line. That's why it's got the name.
Yep.
He is a former Arkansas native.
That's true.
You know about it.
I almost, we're going to go over the beer here soon. I saw another beer tonight when I was at the grocery store. It was called like County Line or something like that. And I thought that would have been a good one too.
Yeah.
Because I almost got it just, to put in the fridge.
You love these stouts so much that you just went with this instead.
It's actually not bad.
Yeah.
It's all right.
I know you really like, what is it? Stouts and sours are your favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah.
Not.
Because you're still just slamming down this thing. You were halfway done already. I haven't even taken a sip. All right, so you better get into the beer before this just gets out of hand.
So the beer we got is called Softly Falling Darkness from the Sly Fox Brewing Company. It's an oatmeal stout coming in at 5.9% alcohol out of Pottstown, Pennsylvania.
Pottstown, down by Philly.
And on the can, the description reads, "Days grow short, nights grow long, and the beer in our glass grows dark. As winter settles in around the brewery, hearty caramel and chocolate malts come out to play. Softly Falling Darkness is a deep, rich stout softened by heaps of flaked and malted oaks. Velvet notes of dark chocolate dance around the palate."
That's right. Days grow short, nights grow long, my pants grow tight. Go ahead, Corey. That's it. I couldn't think anything past that. At least nothing that I thought was okay to put on this.
And then the Sly Fox Brewery on their website, it says that Sly Fox, it's all about the beer. The Sly Fox Brewing Company, has crafted hundreds of different varieties since their inaugural brew in December of 1995.
I was going to say, this brewery's been around for a hot minute.
Yeah. I've had some of their stuff before.
Yeah, I think I have too. I'm sure I have.
And then it says our critically acclaimed year-round lineup and highly anticipated seasonal selections are available at our PA pubs.
PA pubs.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, you know, it's a Pennsylvania thing to just
PA,
call us PA. Yeah. Like I have never been anywhere else where they have referred to their state as just like the abbreviation that.
You know what? It's funny too. I forget where I was. I was on vacation somewhere, and they had Yingling Lager on draft.
Yeah.
And what do we say here?
Lager.
I'll take a lager.
Lager, yeah.
And he's like, you're from Pennsylvania, aren't you? I'm like, yes, sir, I am. He's like, because only those Pennsylvanians say they want a lager.
Yeah, that is it. If you anywhere from like, I would say central PA to Philly, you ask for a lager, that's pretty much what you're getting.
I was in a different state.
Yeah, but well, yeah, for sure, yeah. But I mean, if there's a different bartender there, they probably would have no idea what you're talking about. This guy was just good.
Yeah, he knew his stuff.
I know when you get a look when you're in Atlantic City and you ask for a lager, it takes them a second. Now they have enough like people from PA and stuff that go down there, so they pick up on it. And you're doing a little gambling at the table, and we were at this. I'm getting this little off topic, but it's good. We were in Atlantic City. This was a couple years ago, and we were over at the Tropicana, and I don't know if it's changed since then. But, normally a lot of like these places have like pretty good looking women come around to like take your drink orders, and they're wearing like, I don't know. I don't want to say skimpier clothes because not all of them are, but dude, this lady had to be in her 60s, and she was wearing the absolute like skimpiest outfit ever. Corey, it wasn't great. But it was funny because this outfit looked like she had worked there for 40 years, and this was the outfit that she got
wore for 40 years.
For 40 years, for sure.
Yeah.
She came around and perfectly nice lady. You can tell she's done it forever, but that outfit has not changed in forever. Thought I'd just throw that.
We almost got beat up by a black guy at Atlantic City when we went.
Yeah, there's a lot of angry.
We were sitting at slot machines. Kendra, myself, and then her dad. And we were just looking around, and this black guy comes over. He's like, you guys got a problem?" And we're like, "No, we're just sitting here gambling, and no, we don't got a problem." And then we just got up and walked away. But
yeah, you have a lot of anger in casinos because it's just people. I mean, most people are not leaving a casino the big winner. I remember I went to one. We were down in Mississippi. And we went to one that was right across the bridge from Arkansas into Mississippi. I can't even remember what the casino was called, but we went the one night, and there's a bunch of us that were all working together. And two things happened. One thing was to get free drinks, you got to be playing games, So you walk up to the bar, and the bartender's standing there. It's like, "Hey, can I get a beer?" And he just looks at me, he goes, "Put $1 in the machine." And it's you look down and there's a video poker machine right here. So I slide $20 in. He goes, "Yeah, what do you want to drink?" So, but then, and then you get your drink. I spit the money right out. I don't spend any of it, and I give him a $2 tip. So he doesn't care. He's making $2 tip on every drink. But then I just remember on the way out, there's just this she's an old Asian woman, had to be in her 80s. She's just sitting there at a slot machine, face pressed up against the glass, just sound asleep at this slot machine.
See, I thought you were going to say she was walking around in some skimpy outfit like the
No.
about.
No, she was just passed out at this slot machine. And then I saw a security guard go over to her and tap her, and it's just "Hey, are you okay?" And she just opened one of her eyes and was just "Yep." And just went right back to sleep. It cracked me up. But anyways, back to the beer.
Yeah. So how I kind of relate this beer to tonight's topic, I kind of looked at it as you got these teenagers, young adults, who are out doing some parking, and they're on a high, or they might be high, and they're getting ready to get some. And while time feels like it's slowing down, as it is slowly getting darker as they are out and about, hence the name, Softly Falling Darkness. And then the true crime story that I'm going to talk about later occurs during the winter, which, as I went over in the description of this beer, it talked about like the changing into winter and the whatever the heck it said, the
days got shorter,
yeah,
and the nights grow long.
And your pants got tighter,
My
yeah.
pants got tighter, and so did my schlong.
So just as the beer's rich, dark flavors invite contemplation, they can evoke the tension and vulnerability felt by victims caught off guard at night. This connection emphasizes how darkness, both in the beer and in the narrative of the Hookman, can conceal threats that emerge when least expected.
Well, all right then. That's it. That's the connection. And I want to say my connection, too. I think that this is kind of like, it's a mocking of the Hookman in a way, because this is an oatmeal stout. And as the guy that has a hook for a hand, you might have trouble eating oatmeal. So
Yeah.
it's kind of just as mocking the Hookman in a way, which I don't approve.
Probably have some trouble wiping, too.
Well, you got to make sure you're wiping with the right hand. That's for sure.
But I mean,
Yeah, that's why pirates always have like patches on their eye. They get a little something on their face and they wipe with the wrong hand.
Yeah.
And buddy, you got a patch now.
Yeah, you got a patch. Or at least you got pink eye.
Yeah, pink eye. Yeah.
Mothman flew by.
Yeah. Okay, what's the fancy name for pink eye? I can't remember what it was. I don't know. It's like a big long word that I had to Google like 6 times how to say, because it's like cornucopia.
Cornucopia?
Yeah, it's probably not that long at all. Probably like 6 letters long. Yeah. Should we cheers to the beer and dive into the legend?
Cheers.
Cheers. Yo, this beer's good.
And honestly, it's good. Like,
Yeah.
I think I've been just drinking more stouts
As you grow stout.
as I grow stout,
Yeah.
and it's just making me like them more.
Yeah, I like it. I'm big on an oatmeal stout, especially when you hit like this time of year. This was I feel like the stout is perfect because this is like the first like fall day I feel like we've had weather-wise.
Yeah, rainy.
Like just rainy, it's wet, the days are getting shorter, the nights are getting longer, the temperature's going down. See, you thought I was going to hit it again.
I did.
And my schlong is going along. I don't know. But yeah, so, Corey, let's hear the Hookman legend.
So the Hookman legend, the exact origins of this legend are unknown, but most can agree that it originated sometime in the late 1950s when teenagers were seeking more secluded places such as drive-ins and secluded spots, or also called lovers' lanes, for dating purposes.
So it's not like a north or south type thing. This is like he can be anywhere.
Yeah, you can be anywhere.
Can he be in Canada? Can he be south of the border? Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
No English.
No English. Yeah, that's cool. So this isn't like there's no area.
No.
Okay.
I mean, like, when I picture it, though, I kind of picture it being like I don't know, down south thing is more how I envision it, but it could be
I think
anywhere.
it's in summertime, though, so I don't know.
Maybe I'm just thinking that, too, because of, like, the Texarkana stuff.
Yeah, and you picture, like, alligators in the background. Like, oh, there goes the alligator.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There go that alligator. Shoot him.
So there's like I said earlier, there's 7 different variations of the story that we'll review. But the story typically starts out the same way. A young couple is out for a date. They drive to a secluded area. They then start enjoying a romantic moment when they hear a news report on the radio that would typically sound like the one we went over in the beginning, of an escaped convict in the area who is dangerous and has a hook for a hand. And most of the stories involve this plot line. However, there are a few that take some different turns. So we'll get into some of the other slight variations and drastic variations of the Hookman legend. So the next, the first couple here that I'm going to go over, I found on Ranker.com.
Right. Is that like a poor man's
No,
Reddit?
no. I don't know.
This is like Reddit for people that are on house arrest and also aren't allowed within 500 foot of a school. So you're welcome, guys. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah, they have to update their people every time.
Yeah.
Every time they move and get a new job.
Because they're Megan's Law, for sure. Okay, we'll go to Ranker.
Wanka.com.
Yeah, not to be confused with Wanker.
And the article I found was titled "Creepy Backstories and Versions of the Hookman Legend," written by Catherine Ripley.
Oh, she sounds hot. And just say, like, I'm not gonna be as excited about Ranker as I am Reddit. Just so we set that right now.
So the first version that I went over already kind of set the story. So basically, kind of going off of that, after they hear the radio broadcast, the girlfriend hears a scratching outside the car and demands that they leave. The boyfriend speeds off, frustrated because he isn't going to get any. And when he arrives at the girlfriend's house, the couple discover a hook on the door handle. The implication is that because the girlfriend insisted on leaving, the couple narrowly missed the Hookman's attack.
Yeah, see, that's one I always heard.
Yeah, that's like the most common, and sometimes you'll hear that instead of escaping from, prison or whatever, he escapes out of a mental hospital too. So like you kind of hear those two.
Yeah, or instead of prison or a mental hospital, sometimes he just leaves the back of a Long John Silver's. Yeah. Because that's enough to make anybody just freaking lose their freaking mind, man.
I know, Long John, who's supporting Long John Silver's?
I don't know. Dude, you can buy the crap that's stuck in the freaking fryer at Long John Silver's. Who the hell's buying that?
Yeah. Because every time you drive by, there's some cars there, but who support? There's got to be some little community that is just supporting Long John Silver's.
Good for you. Man, you guys are keeping it alive. Arthur Treathers fans couldn't do that, man.
No, they couldn't. They couldn't hang. They couldn't hang.
Speaking of Arthur Treathers.
Are you saying it right?
Arthur Treathers? I don't know. Arthur Treathers? How do you say it?
Arthur Treachers?
Treachers? Is it a CH?
I think so.
No, okay. Whatever. But whenever my mom had to do something late and my dad had to cook dinner, that's where we went for dinner. With the hush puppy bar and stuff, the baked potato bar. It's good stuff.
So in another version of the story, the lovers are less lucky. They spot the Hookman and try to escape, but the Hookman holds onto the roof of the car and goes right along with them, eventually killing them.
Like through the window or when they get to their location?
So they're sitting at it could be either, they're sitting at the lover's lane or whatever. They hear the scratching, rustling around on the roof. They drive away, and this sumbitch is hanging on the top.
Yeah,
of the
does he
roof.
reach in that window and start slashing throats, or?
I'm assuming.
Yeah,
I'm assuming.
Or does he wait till they get home and
I'm
put them in their front lawn for their parents to find the following morning? The sick son of a bitch.
I'm assuming. Yeah, it's probably more like Michael Myers, just reaching through there and grabbing throats. In another variation of the story, the boyfriend gets out of the car to relieve himself. And
of course. Wait, hold on. To pee, you think?
To pee, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. Might have to poo.
And while the girlfriend waits for him, she hears the same radio broadcast. She then begins hearing a scratching noise on the roof of the car. When she gets out, she finds that her boyfriend has been hanged from a tree, and the noise was his feet scraping against the roof of the car.
Yeah, I've heard that one too. I can't remember what it was. I watched a movie or a TV show that kind of did these urban legends, something along those lines.
I have some of them thrown in here, so maybe it's...
It was an RV, though, that he was, the scraping was from, but that's what it was.
Yeah. And then there's a slightly just variation of that one where, he's hanged by his feet, and his fingernails are scratching on the roof. So
that's totally different.
Yeah.
That's totally different. Tell me that whole story. But just with the no, don't, please don't.
Yeah, no. And then in perhaps the most gruesome version of the story, the girlfriend stays inside the car and begins to hear a thumping sound, When she gets out of the car, she
It's
finds...
the hook man humping the back of the car. Dong, 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 dong.
The hook man is on the roof of her car, banging her boyfriend's severed head on it. And in some versions, he uses his other hand to dangle the car keys. So he's like smashing the boyfriend's head and then dangling the keys at the same time.
There's part of me that when you said banging the boyfriend's head, I thought like...
Banging the boyfriend?
I just thought he's just up there with the severed head, just like being a total freak.
That would be some freaky stuff.
Yeah, you're freaking right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
And then taking the moral of the story to the extreme, some variations of the Hookman legend ditch the parked car and have him going straight into college dorms to murder sexually active students.
Oh, yeah. It's always sexually active students that get that. So that's why I think all these urban legends, for sure, are just made up by parents, a lot of them. Yeah. So then the college dorm one. So the murder takes place while the victim's virgin roommate is asleep. And in the morning, she sees a message on the wall that says, "Aren't you glad you didn't turn on the light?" written in the victim's blood. Nice.
Yeah.
See, kiddos, it pays to be a virgin. Just wait till you're married.
And then we're going to get into some other variations of the legend. Some I just found that I thought were pretty cool. And I'm sure a lot of people have heard of this one or something similar. This one, the hitchhiker. So a driver is on a lonely road when they spot a hitchhiker with a hook for a hand. The hitchhiker shares a chilling tale about how he lost his hand in a tragic accident and warns the driver about a dangerous figure that roams the roads. Suddenly, the driver realizes they've passed a known haunted spot. When they look back, the hitchhiker has vanished, leaving only his hook behind on the seat.
Tell him Large Marge sent ya.
So the next one is called Campfire Tale.
Sitting round the campfire, singing our campfire song. Our CAMPFIRESONG song. I want to keep going, but I know I need to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says, you shut the hell up, you idiot.
I'm sure it'll come back up at some point.
And if you don't think that we can sing it faster, then you're wrong.
A group of campers gather around a campfire to share ghost stories. One camper tells the tale of a young couple who ventured into the woods for a romantic getaway.
Always. It's always.
Yeah. They hear strange noises and rustling in the trees. After hearing the local legend about the Hookman, they decide to leave. However, as they drove away, they noticed claw marks on their car, suggesting they weren't alone in the woods after all.
So I wouldn't think that would be the Hookman, though, if it was claw marks.
Yeah, I don't know.
That could be like a werewolf.
Or just a
Bat Squatch.
bear.
Or some
Freddy
runaway.
Krueger.
Yeah, Freddy Krueger. It could be. Did you see they're doing a Freddy Krueger series?
I did see that, yeah.
By Rob Zombie. So
Yeah.
it's going to be butchered because Zombie tends to do that to things.
Yeah.
We'll see. It could be good. I think it's going to be straight to HBO.
Hmm.
It's going to be like a TV series. So
Yeah.
that'll be exciting. Back to you, Corey, in the studio.
The next one, the babysitter. A teenage babysitter is home alone with children when she receives a call from the parents who warn her about an escaped convict with a hook. After hanging up, she hears strange noises outside. Thinking it's just her imagination, she checks on the kids. Later, she discovers a bloody hook resting on the living room floor. Realizing she isn't just imagining things, the hook man is inside the house.
And that's it. Like, they don't say what happens or, yeah, okay.
They just want you to use your imagination, Mike.
Freaking Ranker. It's freaking
No,
Ranker.
these ones aren't Ranker.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Didn't mean to blow up on Ranker.
Yeah, no blowing your
Poor
wanker.
man's Reddit.
No blowing your
bull
wanker.
crap. It's a poor man's Reddit.
All right. The Hooked Fisherman. This variation tells the story of a fisherman who lost his hand to a shark during a freak accident. Heartbroken and vengeful, he returns as the Hooked Fisherman, haunting the waters where he died. Fishermen and boaters who disrespect the ocean or disturb his resting place are said to encounter him, often losing more than just their catch. Sometimes they lose their lives.
You know that SOB is riding that shark that took his hand.
Yeah.
Like, he's riding that, like yeah.
You know what I picture? I picture just Adam Sandler just, like, cutting the shark's head off and saying, like, this is for Chubb.
He took your hand. I took his head. And they're having a Happy Gilmore 2's being
are.
filmed
That's-
right
yeah.
now. Yeah.
That's supposed to be coming out, I think, like this year.
Okay.
Like it's soon.
Did you ever see like Hubie's Halloween on Netflix? It's Adam Sandler.
I forget if I did.
Dude, it is like Adam Sandler just back at his peak, just Billy Madison, Waterboy, stupid idiot. It is
I don't
so
know.
dude, it's hilarious. It's when me and my wife like to watch like Halloween movies around this, and that got added somehow into all our scary movies. Hubie's Halloween got added into it 'cause
nice.
it's that stupid and funny.
Yeah, that's awesome. I really like Little Nicky too.
No, Little Nicky's good. He's right back in that kind of
Yeah,
like
that's
that
funny.
stupid role that he had.
Yeah, Happy Gilmore's one of our favorites. We've probably watched it
Gilmore
50
Happy.
times. All right, so I'm not reading all these 'cause some of these are actually pretty stupid. Final Destination style. A group of friends are on a road trip. They dismiss local warnings about the Hookman. As they explore a nearby forest, they begin to experience a series of strange and fatal events. Each friend faces a twisted fate, with the Hookman appearing at critical moments, leading them to question their choices and the concept of fate itself as they attempt to escape his clutches. I like this next one. Doppelganger Hookman.
Ooh.
In this eerie tale, someone encounters their doppelganger, an exact look-alike, who has a hook for a hand. Initially confused, the protagonist soon realizes that the doppelganger embodies their darker impulses. The story explores themes of identity and the fear of confronting one's inner demons, culminating in a chilling confrontation.
Ooh, man, if I had to face my like doppelganger Mike, man, that'd be stupid. Like I don't know. I just think of like my inner demons, and it's like, yeah, you idiot. Remember when you tripped in like third grade, you stupid dick? You know, it's like, hey, you son of a bitch, you don't say that about me.
Yeah.
Like it's, I have lived a rather easy life, folks.
The last one here, the Hookman's hideout. In this suspenseful variation, a group of friends stumble upon a hidden lair in the woods, filled with
Hooks. Just hooks, lots
Yeah.
of them.
lots of hooks. In evidence of past encounters with the Hookman. As they explore, they find clues about his identity and the horrors he has committed. The atmosphere grows increasingly tense as they realize they may have awakened something sinister that they cannot escape. So, at the end of this, after we go over like the true crime and stuff, we'll go over like I guess some of the I guess reasons for the legend and like what it symbolizes and stuff, which I think you already kind of touched on, like the big thing. So we'll go over that some more then. Though.
I touched on it.
Yeah, you touched on it.
What?
Yeah, you said about like the parents coming from parents scaring the kids or whatever.
Man, sometimes I'm so deep I just can't even remember. What a problem to have.
Yeah, I mean, black-eyed kids. You said the freaking.
It's reptile people.
The reptile. Yeah, the reptile.
They
people.
are, man. I'm telling you.
Lizard people.
Lizard
yeah.
people, reptile people. Yeah, they are. They blink sideways. It's a problem solved. Hey, let's pack this crap up and go home. We're done. We're done here. Yeah, so we have the real stories, the urban legends, all that. Is there any ties into true crime? I know we kind of already touched on the Texarkana murders and stuff down there. Let's hear it. True crime.
True crime.
True crime.
I'm really excited about this. I mean, I majored in criminal justice.
True crime. He majored in true crime.
Majored in true crime. Learned a lot about a lot.
He learned, yeah.
Learned a lot about a lot.
Not a lot of English, but there was a lot of learning about other
I
stuff
got hit in
going
the
on.
head too many times.
Listen, I played high school football. I've been blown in the head a couple times.
My mom just dropped me on my head too many times.
I believe that.
Yeah. The Texarkana Moonlight Murders
Took place in Texarkana.
in February of
Oh.
1946
Well, it did take place in Texarkana.
in the area of Texarkana, Texas and Texarkana, Arkansas.
And why would they call it Texarkana, Corey?
I have no idea. I I can't figure it out with my brain.
It's because the people of Arkansas and Texas are stupid and can't think of any other names for a town.
Yeah. So they just combined it. Combined their states.
Yeah, not super clever, but it is what it is.
All right, so let's roll into this because it's pretty wild.
Wild.
So the first reported attack happened on February 26, 1946, around midnight. 24-year-old Jimmy Hollis, who was an insurance agent at the time, and his girlfriend, 19-year-old Mary Jean Larry, were out to see a movie together. After the movie ended, they drove to a secluded area on a road known as Lover's Lane.
24 years old. Doesn't that seem a little old to go parking?
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, to me it's a little old.
But back then, 24 was like...
40.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's like the opposite.
Yeah, you're right. While parked, they were approached by a man holding a flashlight and wearing a white cloth mask or a pillowcase over his head, with the eye holes cut out. The man went to the driver's side of the vehicle and demanded Jimmy and Mary Jean exit the vehicle. Jimmy thought they were being robbed and tried to reason with the guy. The masked man then ordered Jimmy to take off his pants.
So I can wear them as my mask for the next murder.
I need a new mask.
Yeah, this old pillowcase isn't good because I needed to go to sleep at night. But
Did you ever see Django?
no, I never saw it. I've seen clips from it.
There's like
and
that
stuff.
one clip where they're like, it's like they're wearing like the KKK mask or
Yeah.
whatever, and like there's this huge scene about like, are we wearing the mask or are we not wearing the mask?
I've seen the clip from that before.
Kendra and I, when we watched that, like we freaking died laughing at that whole scene. Like it's hilarious. But yeah. Anyway, and the masked man, he actually said, "Take off." He told him to take off his goddamn britches.
Jeez,
That's what he said.
What a savage.
Then he pistol whipped him twice in the head, knocking him unconscious and fracturing his skull. Mary Jean states that she initially thought the man shot Jimmy due to how loud the impact sounded of the gun hitting his skull. Mary Jean was also pistol whipped once in the head, then ordered to run up the road.
But she ain't no bitch, so she just kept on trucking.
Yeah, I mean she's a freaking beast here.
Yeah.
So at first she tried to flee for a ditch nearby before being ordered to run on the road. So I don't know why this guy was so insistent that you run on the road. But
I don't know. Why did he want Jimmy to take his pants off?
I don't know.
That's like I'm less worried about running on the road, and I'm more worried about why Jim had to take his pants off.
Yeah. I don't know. Mary Jean made it to an old empty car sitting on the side of the road when she was confronted again by the masked attacker. The masked attacker asked her why she was running and called her a liar when she told him that he's the one that told her to run.
Yeah, so there's the wires. There's either wires rubbing through up there, or there's wires not hooked up. Yeah.
The attacker then knocked her out and used his gun barrel to sexually assault and rape her.
Oh, jeez. Well, that's intense.
Yeah.
That's like having sex while you're camping. That's effing intense. That's right. That's right.
Okay. After the sexual assault, Mary...
Oh.
God. Okay. I'll take your... Golly.
Golly. You got to hit the gollies.
Yeah.
They just feel good.
They do.
They feel good. You hit them like in the like upper part of your chest. A good golly. Oh, man. Yeah. There it is.
So after the sexual assault, Mary Jean fled on foot and was able to make it to a nearby house.
I thought she was knocked out.
Yeah, but she like somehow
came to it.
Okay. Regained some type of consciousness, and was able to run to a nearby house where the police were called.
So she got up and ran while she was being assaulted.
Like,
so he was still there.
He was still somewhere there. I think somehow.
Or was it like after everything happened, she woke up and took off running? So he was already.
I think it was more or less like the sexual assault happened. This guy stopped the sexual assault. I don't know if he went away or what happened. But then she regained consciousness and ran into like the nearest house nearby. Police were called. Jimmy regained his consciousness as well and alerted a passing motorist about the
how
situation.
convenient that Jimmy comes to once everything's all said and done.
Yeah. As his brain, though, is like oozing out of his fractured skull.
Yeah, likely story, Jimmy.
30 minutes later, Bowie County Sheriff W.H. Presley, W.H. quotes Bill Presley. So I'm
I guess
assuming
it's
like
William. I hope.
William. Yeah.
His first name is actually Williford, but he goes by Bill.
Yeah. W.H. Bill Presley arrived with 3 other officers, and this was 30 minutes later after the police were called. But the assailant was gone. Jimmy's pants were found 100 yards away from the parked vehicle.
Why did he want that guy's pants?
I have no idea.
What's the fascination with those pants?
I have no idea. When giving their statements, both Jimmy and Mary Jean gave contradicting statements regarding the attacker's appearance. Jimmy claimed the man was in his 30s and white.
How do they know that when the guy was wearing a sheet?
Yeah, I don't.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I don't know. And Mary Jean claimed that he was a light-skinned African American.
So she's racist. That's what
I get, because I mean it's nighttime.
Yeah, so she's just like instantly like, them white folk would never do that to me. It's gotta be a black
Yeah, 'cause
man.
It's nighttime. You know,
Yeah.
it's dark. Everybody
Yep.
looks black.
Except for me, from the waist down, still looking white. Just saying.
But both of them agreed that the attacker was around 6 feet tall. Law enforcement pressured the two and believed that they knew the attacker and that they were trying to cover for him.
That seems like weird though.
Yeah.
Like,
And you'll
what-
see like later on, like they keep pushing them because they think they're lying to the police about.
I guess unless it was like they knew the attacker and he told them like, "Hey, I know your mom and dad, and I'll kill them if you say anything," you know.
Yeah.
Or there's more than one attacker, so they couldn't all be arrested at the same time. It could be like a group. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah.
So Mary Jean, she was hospitalized overnight for a minor head wound. Jimmy was hospitalized for several days to recover from multiple skull fractures. Both of them lived.
Well, hell yeah, Jimmy lived. He sold the life insurance policy that he had on himself. He was an insurance agent. Of course, he's gonna live. He's gonna die
And
that
I think
easy.
he had some expensive pants too.
Yeah,
They must have been
apparently
some-
satin, them satin pants at Jim's or corduroy
corduroy.
back in the day.
So they both lived. But the next reported attack, the individuals aren't so lucky.
Well, I'm glad you warned me with that, so it wasn't like the last episode when I was just totally disrespecting DUG.
Yeah. Doug's dead?
Doug's dead. Thanks for letting me know that
Let you
people
know.
probably
I didn't
died.
just say there's devastation. I
Yeah.
told you, like, straight up,
Yeah,
dead.
dead.
So-
Now I know.
Okay. So that first attack happened in February. So the next attack happened approximately a month later on March 23rd, 1946. 29-year-old Richard L. Griffin and his girlfriend, 17-year-old.
Whoa!
I know.
Whoa,
When I was reading this too.
Whoa!
But back then, you know, people got married to 12-year-olds.
Yeah. What year was this?
40s.
40s. I don't know. Creeper.
Yeah, I know.
Creep alert.
Yep.
What did you say? 29 and 17.
29-year-old Richard L. Griffin, so he was a dick.
Yeah, for sure, Dick.
And his girlfriend, 17-year-old Polly Ann Moore, went out for a date. Richard was a war veteran who served in World War II and worked as a carpenter after returning home, where he lived with his mother. Polly Ann was a recent high school graduate from Atlanta High School in Texas. She moved in with her cousin in Texarkana and worked at a local business. The two had been together for approximately 6 months. 6 weeks. They were last seen alive around 10 p.m. that night, having dinner together. So the next morning, sometime between 8:30 a.m. and 9 a.m., a passing motorist found Richard's 1941 Oldsmobile sedan parked on a secluded road known as Lover's Lane near Texarkana. So this was a different Lover's Lane than the first story. This one was on Rich Road, close to a local bar called Club Dallas.
Oh, yeah, Club Dallas.
Anything else you wanted to say about that?
No, that's it.
Okay.
That's it, I think.
All right. Inside the car, Richard was found sitting between the front seats with his head resting on his hands, which were crossed, and his pockets turned inside out. He had been shot twice in the back of the head.
But had his pants on still.
Yeah, he still had his pants on, but the pockets were inside out.
Yeah, so it was a robbery. At least wanted to take something from him.
Polly Ann Moore's body was found face down in the back seat of the car. Evidence points to her being placed there after being killed on a blanket outside of the car.
So was there some sexual assault going on there?
Hold on, I'm gonna get into that. So there was blood found outside of the car that suggests they had been killed. So like there was blood found in multiple spots outside the car. So like the evidence points to that they were killed outside the car and then placed back in. There was this .32 caliber cartridge casing found in the blanket, and there were rumors at the time and after that Polly Ann was sexually assaulted. However, modern reports do not indicate that this was the case.
So would that signify that there was some kind of remorse after the killings, that she was sexually assaulted, they were killed outside, but then he went to the effort to pick them up and put them back into the car.
Yeah.
So is there some kind of remorse, or why did they have to be put back into the car?
Yeah, because, I mean, obviously, you got blood and everything outside the car. You're not like...
Yeah, who gives a crap?
You
just killed them outside the car. So who gives a crap
not...
about picking them up and putting them inside? Unless there's some part of your brain that was just like, that was wrong, and now I have to try and fix it as the only way I can.
Yeah, maybe. So the first story, they were attacked, they lived. This story, both shot dead. So far, 4 people in total have been attacked, with 2 of the 4 being murdered. So the next attack happened on Sunday, April 14th of the same year, 1946. 17-year-old Paul Martin picked up 15-year-old Betty Jo Booker.
See, that makes a little more sense.
1715, yeah.
Yeah.
Picked up 15-year-old Betty Jo Booker from a musical performance at 1:30 a.m.
Well, that's a little late, I would say.
Yeah. At the VFW Club at West 4th and Oak Street in Texarkana. Paul's body was found at 6:30 a.m., lying on its left side by the northern edge of North Park Road. Blood was found on a fence on the other side of the road. Paul's body was found with a gunshot through the nose, through the ribs from behind, in the right hand, and through the back of the neck. So this dude got shot 4 times.
Yeah. Yes, and he was just still kicking.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think if they just keep shooting him, that he's just still kicking.
Betty Jo's body was found by a search party almost 2 miles away.
Whoa. Okay, 2 miles away.
2 miles away from Paul's body at 11:30 a.m.
Alive or dead? Dead, I assume.
Dead, yeah. Yeah. Her body was found behind a tree as she was lying on her back, fully clothed, and was posed with the right hand in the pocket of the buttoned overcoat.
I'm telling you, why would he pose these bodies afterwards, though? It's
this dude
weird.
has something with like pants and like pockets and like I don't.
Well, I figure on the last one with the guy's pockets, he went through the pockets.
Yeah, he went through the pockets.
Yeah,
but like this one, he puts her hand in the pocket.
Yeah, but is that like an innocence thing, like hands in the pocket? I don't know.
Yeah, first guy, he made him take off his pants.
Yeah, well, that's because they were made of satin.
Made of gold.
Gold. Corduroy. them they corduroy pants. Of either that when they got robbed by either the white man or the black man, nobody know.
Yeah. So when she was found, she was shot twice, once through the chest and once in the face.
Jeez. The face is pretty vicious to just shoot somebody in the face.
Yeah. The evidence indicates that the weapon used in the first double murder was also used in this murder. It was a .32 caliber Colt pistol. Paul's car was found 3 miles from Betty Jo's body, and 1.5 miles from Paul's body.
Whose body was found? Whose? That was the
The
previous couple or their car.
So Paul's car. So it was this guy that was killed.
Okay.
So his car was found 3 miles from Betty Jo's body and 1.5 miles from Paul's body.
Jeez.
Because remember, her body was found, 2 miles away or something.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm assuming this guy killed both of them and then drove the car. Obviously, because how else would the car get
you would
that
think.
far away?
Unless he like let him run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So the car was parked outside Spring Lake Park with the keys still in the ignition. Authorities were not able to determine who was killed first. The bodies indicated that there was a terrific struggle before they were ultimately killed.
Yeah, that one's weird. Why was the car? Why are they so far away from their car?
Yeah, I mean maybe he made him run because I mean in that first story he made that girl run.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're going back to that. Yeah,
So
that would make sense. And but unless he forgot he made her run
yeah,
again.
yeah. Why are you running, girl? You told me to.
Yeah, you told me to, master.
So then this next one here, we're gonna go over, which I don't know if it's actually related to these other murders, and I mean we'll go over that kind of at the end. But it was so right now it's been approximately 2.5 months. Total people attacked sits at 6, with 4 of them being murdered. So now Friday, May 3rd, 1946, sometime before 9 p.m., 37-year-old Virgil Starks and his wife, 36-year-old Katie, were in their home on the 500-acre farm off Highway 67 East, approximately 10 miles northeast of Texarkana. 500 acres.
It's a good chunk.
That's
yeah. But it's weird. You're back there in that time where people didn't want to live out in the country either. They wanted to live in town.
Yeah.
So, like, the land was cheap, but people wanted to move into the cities and into town because there's more going on.
Yeah. So Virgil was sitting in his recliner reading the paper when he was shot twice in the back of the head from a closed double window. Katie heard the shots and the broken glass and came in from another room when she saw Virgil slumped in his chair. When Katie realized that Virgil was dead, she ran into the other room to the crank telephone to call the police. So, I mean, if you're in a frantic using one of them old crank telephones, like
operator,
like how long is that going to take you?
Well, I think the crank one's the one you actually you spin. Yeah, you know what I mean.
It's not the.
No, that's the what is that? Rotary.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she ran to the crank telephone, tried to call the police, and as she was attempting to place the call, she was shot in the face twice from the same window. She started to fall, but regained her footing and attempted to get a pistol from another room in the house, but was blinded from the blood running down her face. Katie heard the killer at the back of the house and decided to run out the front door. She ran barefoot across the street to her sister and brother-in-law's house, but nobody was home. She then ran to her neighbor, A.V. Prater's house, and said that Virgil's dead before she collapsed. Prater shot a rifle in the air to alert another neighbor.
Well, hell yeah. Freaking 40s in Arkansas and Texas, buddy. That's that. This is better than Paul Revere.
Yeah. So he alerted his neighbor, Elma Taylor, who Prater sent to collect his car. Elma Prater and the other Prater family members transported Katie to the hospital. She ended up surviving, and I mean she was shot twice in the head too, and she survived. A flashlight was found outside the house, and it was suspected to be a .22 caliber rifle, which is different. It's a different weapon compared to the other attacks.
Yeah, this one seems kind of random, doesn't it?
Yeah. And this case was led by W.E. Davis, the Miller County Sheriff.
Yeah, I don't know. That one seems really random compared to the other ones.
Yeah, and like that was my thoughts too. Like this case here, at first for a while was like associated with or linked to the other cases, but then as I'll go over in a little bit, like they found that this case was, I guess, unrelated to the other cases, which
Yeah, I always think, like, when stuff like this is going on, people are just like, well, this is my chance. You know, somebody else is getting away with doing crazy crap all over the county and the city. Like, I'm going to take my shot right now.
Yeah. So, the whole murder spree and attacks lasted for 2.5 months in the Texarkana area. 8 people being attacked, with 5 people dying. In November of 1948, so a little over 2 years later, investigators determined that the last murder wasn't connected to the others. There were numerous, there was a lot going on with these investigations. I mean, there were so many different police departments and agencies investigating each one of these cases. And
were you technically in 2 states? Like, were there killings in Arkansas and killings in Texas?
I don't know.
What? What do you... What? Oh. Just go ahead. Just go ask one question and go ahead. No, I don't know. I'm sure that would make it more difficult if they were in 2 different states. So.
Yeah. But, I mean, they brought in so many different, like, the FBI, this, that, like, everything. Everybody was in there investigating, trying to figure this out. And, again, law enforcement repeatedly challenged. So, the first couple, so they repeatedly challenged Mary Jean Larry and believed that her and her boyfriend Jimmy were covering up for the attacker whom they knew.
Well, it does make sense because he kills everybody else, but he didn't kill them. But at the same time, maybe he just got ballsier after this, or realized that what he did in the first attack wasn't giving him what he needed.
Didn't give him that,
that high, or I don't know, that sexual arouse or whatever he needed. Yeah. What a freak. Give me your pants, Corey.
I got shorts on.
Oh, damn it. I want to wear them as a mask, but I want them to be super long.
So it seems like they were out of leads, and I feel like they were trying to push something that wasn't necessarily there.
Yeah, they just have nothing else.
They have nothing, so they're like,
yeah,
we gotta get somewhere. After the second attack, and so the first double murder, Mary Jean returned to Texarkana. I don't know where she went, but apparently she left the area. She returned to Texarkana in an attempt to help link the cases and identify the murderer. So she went back to just try to help.
Yeah. Or she went back because she was the murderer and she wanted to start round 2.
And like I said, there were investigations going on everywhere in the area with each of the incidents. In response to the Griffin Moore murder, so that was the first double murder.
Yeah, the murder.
Yeah, Boston. Law enforcement launched a citywide investigation where over 200 people were questioned and many false leads were checked. In the Martin Booker case, the second double murder, friends, acquaintances, and several suspects were questioned. Investigators worked 24-hour shifts trying to crack the case. They even tried... Okay, this part's funny. So they even tried baiting the perpetrator by recruiting teenagers to sit as decoys in parked cars while officers waited nearby.
Hey, look at me. I'm not a virgin, and I'm just sitting here making neck love. I'm getting hickeys. This is crazy.
And sometimes officers also volunteered as decoys, with sometimes real partners or even mannequins sitting in the
mannequins
the
would seem like a good
seat.
idea, because when you're walking up on a dark car, you just have 2 mannequins macking, who's going to know the difference?
Yeah. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah.
So the public response to the Texarkana killings was one of fear and paranoia.
Do you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Many residents felt unsafe, leading to increased vigilance and community discussions about safety. Residents implemented various security measures, such as installing locks, security lights, alarms. Many also adopted practices like keeping firearms at home and organizing patrols among neighbors to enhance safety.
And safe sex. Condoms are handed out to all the young children.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're just going to keep on parking, so.
Yeah.
When I say young, I mean 29 with a
29-year-old,
17-year-old, you
yeah.
freak.
Yeah. People also began avoiding nighttime activities, and the media coverage intensified the panic, obviously. I mean, they always do. and local law enforcement faced pressure to solve the cases quickly. However, it still to this day remains unsolved, with numerous theories but no definitive answers. Many people were accused but later acquitted. Several people even claimed to be the Phantom Killer, but weren't able to give the details of the crimes and were later, acquitted that they weren't the killer. And I mean, I was reading about it, and there was ex-military people, college athletes, other just, small criminals that were saying that they were the Phantom Killer.
Short criminals or just like small-time criminals? Or both?
Just like little thieves.
Little thieves. Gotcha. Gotcha.
But yeah, to this day, it's still not solved.
Still not solved. So how do the murders in Texarkana relate to the Hook Man? Because we didn't hear anything about a hook, as far as I know.
So both the Hook Man legend and the Texarkana killings have sexual undertones, often portraying the threat to young couples engaging in romantic activities. The legend typically emphasizes the violation of privacy and safety, while the Texarkana murders involve brutal attacks on couples, heightening fears about sexual violence.
They're talking about coitus. Sex.
Yeah.
Coitus.
These narratives reflect societal anxieties about relationships and safety.
Well, that's a good thing. You kids should be scared straight. Dang it. You don't need to be out there parking on side roads naked and stuff.
Naked.
That's what I said. Naked.
naked. And
You don't
afraid.
need to be doing that.
Naked and afraid.
Yeah. You don't need to be doing that. Children.
Grow up.
Grow up.
You're 29 years old.
Damn it.
Still living with your mom.
You dope. So as far as symbolization, what's that? How's that relate?
So I think there's a couple different areas. Kind of just goes off of what I went over about comparing the two, but vulnerability. So I think the Hookman urban legend highlights the fear of being exposed or unprotected.
Like with no pants, you mean?
Yeah, no pants.
Yeah. I've been exposed before. It's not fun.
That's why you're under Megan's Law.
Well, just keep reading. Keep reading your paper, you son of a bitch. People don't need to be knowing about that. I'm not on the Megan's Law, people. Or we start getting emails and
Too far
stuff.
with this.
Yeah.
So the vulnerability aspect of it, I think another one is the loss of innocence. So the legend reflects concerns about the dangers facing youth, particularly regarding their developing sexuality and relationships.
It's just like Jason. He always went after those sexually active teenagers.
Scream. Michael Myers.
I mean, Mike just went after everybody, but he did like the sexually active
he killed some
teen.
old ladies. He
It all started with a sexually active sister.
Yeah.
So
flashing them
just say it. Why would you half edit out flashing them tit? I was like, what? Just say it.
I didn't know.
What's the matter at this point?
Titties.
Well, that was too far. Golly. Titties, he said. My gosh.
Yeah.
Golly.
Flashing them titties.
All right, keep reading your little paper over there.
Loss of I already read that part. Parental warnings, often used as a cautionary tale. It underscores the tension between independence and the need for parental guidance. And also, the hook-wielding figure represents the unknown threat lurking in society, embodying fears of violence and crime.
Ooh.
And overall, the legend taps into deep-seated anxieties about safety, relationships, and societal changes.
And sex, kids. Don't do it till you're married. So the Hookman and media, how's he been conveyed through?
So some of the big ones I found, When a Stranger Calls.
Oh, yeah.
This film starts with a classic setup where a babysitter receives unsettling phone calls. The story escalates into a terrifying encounter, mirroring the Hookman's themes of vulnerability and danger.
He's in the house.
Yeah. And then the movie Urban Legends. This horror film features a series of urban legends.
We still have to watch this. We got to watch this
yeah, we
movie
do.
and do a live watch.
Yeah. Including the Hookman story. It connects the fear of real-world dangers with the folklore.
Score.
No. I knew you were going to say it.
You like lobbed it up. The folklore?
You
And then
hit it.
hesitated.
You hit it.
Yeah, he hesitated.
I know. Folklore that circulates among college students. Scary stories to tell in the dark. The collection of stories, including the Hookman tale, emphasizes the chilling nature of urban legends. The adaptations for the screen highlight how these tales translate into frightening narrative. And then TV shows and series like Supernatural, episodes often reference urban legends, including the Hookman, blending folklore with supernatural elements to explore fear and morality. Are You Afraid of the Dark? The anthology series often includes episodes that retell urban legends and folk tales, including the variations of the Hookman story. And the one that I kind of thought of too was I got the vibe of the Hookman from the American Horror Story, the 1985. I don't know if you saw that one.
No, I didn't see 85.
I just remember it was about like a group of, teenagers, young adults, escaped convict or something, tortures them at like a campsite or something.
Yeah.
But I got the vibe too with that. So, I mean, there's a lot of other ones too, but they were just some of the...
I mean, even just like classic slashers.
Yeah,
that
Scream.
Way. I mean,
and just anything, really.
And Know What You Did Last Summer with the hook hand and everything.
Yeah, that was another one too. I didn't put it on here, but that was one I thought of.
Yeah. But yeah, pretty much all the slashers go after the sexually active teenagers.
Yeah.
That is the thing.
That's the thing.
Yeah. So is it time for the folklore score?
Folklore score.
Let's get it. All right, on to the folklore score. Unveil. Corey, I got a 31.
34.
34, so that puts it at 65. 65 brings it right where we expected, right around spot 6. So yeah, I think that's kind of right under Bloody Mary. Yeah, I like it. Spookiness, what'd you give it?
Spookiness, I gave it a 7.
I gave it a 7.
Why'd you give it a 7?
I thought it was moderately spooky. I think it's spooky depending on what your age is. And I think it's spooky on depending on what you're doing and where you're at, It's not spooky for everybody.
Yeah, like me sitting here, I'm like,
yeah.
No.
Yeah, me as a fat, whatever I am, 33-year-old. Yeah, I don't care about him. 'Cause I ain't good. I'm not parking anytime soon.
No. The only place I'm parking is on the toilet.
Yeah, you're freaking right. Or
And
my
in my
ass
bed.
on the couch too.
Yeah, on the couch.
Historical, cultural significance. Who'd you give it?
I gave it a 4.
Give it a 4. I gave it a 7 for that too. I just kind of thought it was significant when you kind of look at like culture and stuff in modern movies. I guess I don't know. I guess I could have probably went a little bit lower with that score, but I just thought it just seems like it's inspirational as far as like a lot of movies.
Yeah, I mean, I probably could have went higher too, but
yeah, but I like that for like being a 4, being a minor historical or cultural relevance. I think that's probably
because I feel like, I guess the way I looked at it is like, as far as parents trying to scare the kids or whatever and saying this urban legend, like, yeah, that's like a small piece because not every parent is preaching this urban legend.
right. Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's only like a certain section of parents or small amount of parents.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, it did.
Yeah, so believability, I gave it a 7. I gave it a 7 because I think it's believable, but still, it's like the Texarkana murders and stuff can kind of be the Hookman and also kind of just not be the Hookman. They're just their own separate thing, So it's believable if you take. That's why I give it a 7 because it's believable if you use those murders. It's not really believable if you just kind of just use the escaped convict hook hand thing,
I gave it a 9, and the only reason I would have gave it a 10 if it wasn't a hook.
Yeah.
If he didn't have the hook,
if he had
I'd have gave it 10.
if he had a dildo in his hand,
Oh,
10.
10.
10's
11.
Easy. I would have gave
Yeah.
it a 10. All
Yeah.
10s.
Yeah.
Uniqueness. What'd you give it?
I gave it a 6.
I gave it a 7 because I'm just passing out 7s today.
Yeah. He's
Pretty much the same thing. Quite unique, stands out among other legends. So yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Threat level.
I gave it a 7.
I give it a 3 because I'm not going parking anytime soon, so I didn't find it that much of a threat.
But I don't look at it as myself as a threat. I look at it to, like, anybody out there threat level.
Yeah,
That's how I looked at it.
Yeah, 3. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, yeah, so gave it a 65, puts it right under Bloody Mary at number 5, which I like. Freaking your old buddy Champ is just sliding down further and further.
Hat Man, too. I mean, Hat Man.
Yeah, I think if we regraded Hat Man, he'd probably be up higher, but it's just, just the way things go. So also before I forget, this is an intriguing tale. The urban legend presents intriguing narratives with modern threat levels, drawing listeners into the mysterious worlds while hitting at potential danger lurking beneath the surface. So yeah, another one. I think pretty much nail on the head there, I would say. So that's the end. That's Hookman.
That's the end. That's Hookman.
That's Hookman. So thank you guys for listening. Make sure to check us out on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. They're our main ones. We also got the YouTube. I don't know, Threads and Twitter. We don't do that much on that or anything.
I'll do shit on them.
Yeah. Well, jeez. I mean, you could at least pretend for the people that maybe would go there.
Don't go there.
Yeah. But also, if you like this cast, please hit us with a 5-star review on Apple. It really helps the cast out. Write us a review. There's also a link in the description where you can just send us a message. If you guys have anything you want us to dive into in the next couple months, shoot us a message. We'd love to hear what you guys have. And next week we have a fun one. Corey has no idea what it is. But we'll talk about it next week. So, all right. All right, I'm Mike. I'm out of here. Thanks for listening.
Yeah,
Appreciate you guys.
I'm Butt Crack Corey.
Butt Crack Corey, and he is a butt crack.
I am out.
All right. Later.
See ya.